In the midst of the Euros and the Copas, we also have MLS Matchday 23 this weekend with one game on Friday, followed by 13 more on Saturday. Now, last week was pretty rough. It seemed like every bet that I had something come up, like a red card or an injury, and things just didn't end very well. But we move on and hope for a better week this week. And before you make your MLS bets this weekend, if you're looking to take advantage of some great sports betting bonuses, then look no further. Check out my link, signupexpert.com/shredthespread. I'll put that link down there in the description and the comments of the video. And if you go there, you can see all the best sports books in your location and claim the best bonus bets, risk-free bets, and bonus offers from a wide range of online legal sports books. Be sure to check it out. Now let's start getting into these games here. There's one game on Friday. I'm not going to include it in the final best bets, but let's touch on it since it is a standalone game. New York City FC and Orlando City. It's arrow down here on New York City FC. They've now lost 3 straight, 1-0, 2-0, and 3-2. And those last 2 shutout losses did come on the road, though. At home in MLS, they've scored in 12 of 13 games going back to last season. It's arrow up, maybe, on Orlando after last week's 4-2 win over Chicago. That may be too soon, though, to give them a stock up symbol there. Since it's their only win in their last 6 games, New York has scored versus Orlando in 17 straight meetings, as well as in 22 of 24 all-time meetings. Orlando has conceded in 6 straight and in 15 of 19 this season as well. If I was going to bet this game, I'd look to New York, maybe both teams to score as well. But neither team is in great form right now, so we'll leave it off there. But if I had to, I'd leave New York or both teams to score. Now let's get into this week's picks and parlays here. Number 1, let's start with Nashville and Inter Miami. It's another Nashville and Miami game. It was 3-1 Miami in Miami back in April. This one will be in Nashville. Now, it was 3-1 Miami and 2-2 in the Champions Cup as well this season. They played 4 times last season as well. Miami is undefeated in 6 games against Nashville. Surely Nashville will be looking to get some form of revenge here, as they never seem to come out on top against this opponent. A much improved Nashville team is 5-4-2 in their last 11 games, though, with just 1 loss in 8. Their last 2 games are 1-0 and 2-1 wins over New York City FC and Toronto. The juggernaut that is Miami hasn't missed a beat without Messi, Suarez, and others, getting 2-1 wins over Columbus and Philly in recent games. They were off last week, though, so they will come in rested, and they are 9-2-1. That's just 1 loss in 12 MLS games of late. We have a team here their games see tons of goals, that being Miami. They average 3.8 goals per match, and we have a team whose games don't average very many goals, Nashville 2.4. Miami has gone over 2.5 at a 15-5 clip and over 1.5 at 18-2 this season. So only 2 games have not seen at least 2 goals scored. They'll get back Aviles and Rios coming back for Miami after suspensions, but they're obviously still without a ton of players, a ton of star players, but they do still have a loaded team. Nashville, too, are missing Shaq Moore and Jacob Schaffelberg out for international duty. Some way, somehow, I think we'll see at least 2 goals, probably both teams to score, but at least 2. One of these times, Nashville has to get the better of Miami. They are playing a little bit better defensively here. Maybe they come out on top. Maybe it's both teams to score. I just want 2 goals to kick off this parlay, over 1.5. Next up, Sporting Kansas City, Austin FC. In losing 4-0 to Columbus last week, a scoring streak of 8 games for SKC has come to an end, but it does extend to many other streaks and trends, most of which are bad. Sporting Kansas City have scored 17 of 20. They've conceded in 19 of 20 and in 17 straight. Both teams to score bets for SKC this season have gone 17-3. But it's not just that. The both teams to score an over 2.5 bet has gone 8-1 and 15-2 in recent Sporting Kansas City games. SKC has given up multiple goals in 8 of 9 and in 12 of 14 recent MLS games. They have just 1 win in 14 MLS games as well. It's not good reading if you're an SKC fan. Betting Austin road wins, not something that is usually a good bet. 34 road MLS games in all competitions, they have just 5 wins. But one of those 5 did come last week where they beat Minnesota 1-0. Minnesota did take a red card, though. Still, they're 2-3-5, and they've been outscored 13-5 on the road this season, that being Austin. Previous scores, these teams did play in May, and it was in Austin, and Austin won 3-2. If we look at some other scores, 2-1 Austin, 4-1 SKC, 4-3 Austin. In 8 all-time meetings between these teams, both teams to score 7-1. The both teams to score an over 2.5 is 6-2. There's a chance this ends in a stinker since both teams are struggling. Maybe it's 0-0, maybe it's 1-0. Sometimes Austin plays some lower scoring games, but you cannot trust SKC to shut out anyone right now. And surely at home, SKC will look for some sort of rebound after losing 4-0 last week. So let's stick with the trend between these teams and go both teams to score. And we go SKC, Austin, both teams to score with Nashville, Miami over 1.5 get even money at plus 100. Parlay number 2, let's look to 2 games and get both teams to score bets here. New England Revolution and the Columbus Crew with 4 straight wins for New England, 2-1, 1-0, 3-2, and 2-1 over Cincinnati last week. FCC did take a red card, though, in the 69th minute. Columbus lost to Miami backups 2 games ago, 2-1. They did rebound, though, in the Aiden Morris farewell game by thumping SKC 4-0 alongside a Cucho Hernandez hat trick. The Crew are 5-0-1 in their past 6 in MLS now. Either the Revs aren't for real and Columbus blows this pretender out, or New England is actually improved and at home and in good form. They can contribute to the score sheet as well, and maybe we can see some goals from both sides here. In the last 7 Crew games, 2 or more goals has happened in all 7. There's been 3 or more goals in 6 of those 7. The Crew have scored in 7 straight and also in 14 of 17 MLS games this season, so it's nearly a lock that they should at least score themselves. The only question to me is if the Revs can score, and I'm going to say yes. They're building some momentum. They've added a few new players. Caleb Porter is coaching against his old team. The Crew have allowed a goal in 5 of 7 MLS games, and they will need to adjust without Morris being there in the midfield. Giacomo Veroni is starting to cash in on his chances too for New England. In his last 7 games, he has 20 shots, 8 shots on target. In his last 2 games, he has 7 shots, 3 shots on target, and all 3 of those shots on target have ended in goals. So let's go both teams to score between New England and Columbus in this game, and we'll pair it with another both teams to score, FC Dallas and FC Cincinnati. Dallas lost 3-2 to Seattle last week, but they are 2-1-1 in 4, and they have 2, 5, and 2 goals in their past 3. Dallas may have struggled this season, but they've scored in 13 of 14 recent games. DP striker Peter Musa has come to life with 7 shots, 5 shots on target, and 4 goals in his last 2 games. Cincy shockingly lost at home to New England last week, but they did take a red card to defensive mid Obina Nwubo in the second half, and they had used up all of their subs when they also lost Nick Hagglund to injury later in that game. So they were playing for 10 men from the 69th minute on, and then 9 men for the final 10 minutes of the game into stoppage time as well. Cincinnati defensive concerns are starting to compound here. They're already out Miles Robinson to the Copas. Matt Miazga is injured and out for a while, possibly the season. And now Nick Hagglund has gone down with the broken fibula. He will also be out for some time. Despite the loss, Cincy is 9-0-2 and 11. And as long as Luciano Acosta is in the lineup, they'll have a good chance to win or at least score. He's had a goal, assist, or both in 7 of 8 games. He's 9 goals, 15 assists on the season. Dallas has been a more exciting and offensive team under interim manager Peter Luchin. Cincinnati's still obviously the better team, but they are missing a ton of defenders, so I think we see a goal from both here. Let's go both teams to score. Dallas, Cincinnati, both teams to score. New England, Columbus coming in at plus 144 odds. Next up, let's just bet one single game here since I see a team at home that I think is in better form, playing well, should get the win, and at pretty decent odds just to get a home win here. And it's Portland over Minnesota, side by side in the table here. 6th Portland hosting 5th Minnesota. Timbers shut out Vancouver 2-0 last week. They're 5-2-1 in their past 8. Portland's defense isn't good, but has slightly improved. They have clean sheets now in 3 of 5 games. Offensively, Portland has scored in 17 of 20 and multiple goals in 5 of their last 6. Minnesota has cooled off. 3 straight losses, 1-0, 5-3, 2-0, and they only have 1 win in 7 games. The Loons have now won 3 straight versus Portland, though, winning 2-1 in May and winning both games last season 4-1 and 1-0. Let's look for Portland to try to reverse that trend here. The Loons are already missing a ton of players on international duty. They're now out Hassani Dotson as well, who took a red card last week. Portland's still out Grapeau, Miller, Araujo in keeper and defense, but they've still been performing, playing well. Their offense always seems to carry them as well. I think this could be a Portland win. Alternatively, Portland just to score 2 goals in case this game turns into a shootout, since you can't always trust Portland's defense. So maybe you just ask Portland to score 2 in a parlay. But I'm going to do one straight bet here. Portland simply just to win, minus 110 odds. And remember, if you bet that at a site like Bet365, if they do go up by 2 goals, you get the auto win there. So just something to consider if you can bet at Bet365. Next up, 2 more late games here. And it's San Jose and the LA Galaxy in the Cali Clasico being played at Stanford Stadium here, not at the regular stadium for San Jose, but still not that far away. It's bottom versus 3rd in the West here, San Jose being 14th, LA 3rd. Overall standings as well as current form could not be more different. San Jose hasn't won in 8 games in all competitions. They've allowed a goal in every single game this season, minus 1 U.S. Open Cup game to a lower tier side. They've given up multiple goals in 4 straight and in 7 of 9. The only positive is they've also scored a goal in 18 of 21, so you can still usually count on them to score. LA, only 3 losses on the year, only 1 loss in 10. They've won 5 of 6. That includes stopping RSL's long undefeated streak last week when they went to Sandy, Utah and won 1-0. Lately, they've been getting the wins, even without injured star Ricky Puig, but he should be back this week as well. They've won 3 straight for the first time under Greg Vanney as well since he's been manager in LA. The Galaxy have scored in 6 straight, in 8 of 9, but they've also conceded a goal in 6 of 9. Now, there's been 2 meetings already this season between these rivals. March 4th, won 3-1 by LA, and April 24th, won 4-3 by LA as well. The Galaxy are undefeated versus San Jose now in 6 straight meetings. This is the highest scoring rivalry in MLS history, and this is just a small snapshot of why we've just touched on that 3-1 and 4-3 scores this season. But if we look further back, we see 3-2, 2-2, 2-1, 3-2, 3-2, 2-1, and 3-1. Some way, somehow, there's always goals between these teams, no matter how they are playing in their current form of the season. It seems obvious to me that the Galaxy are scoring. Possibly the Galaxy will score too, but the Quakes can score. They might get a little bit of a new coach bump after they fired Luchi Gonzalez this week and replaced him with assistant coach Ian Russell. It's hard not to see. Like I said, LA possibly scoring 2. Comes down to can San Jose get at least 1. I'll bet that they can. So let's go both teams to score and over 2.5. But even that, the odds are predicting to be a very easy bet, as you'll see around minus. It was minus 175. Now I see minus 188, minus 195. So the odds are predicting a high scoring game here with goals from both. So let's just add one more selection here to bring that price down a little bit better. We'll go LAFC, Colorado Rapids. It's a top 4 matchup with first LAFC hosting 4th Colorado in the West here. LAFC's 8-game win streak in all competitions. It did end 2 games back with a 1-1 draw with Austin, but they've smacked San Jose last week 6-2. And they got back in the win column to extend their undefeated streak to 10 games, and they have just 1 loss in 15. The Rapids had gone 5 games without a win, but since that time, they've now won 2-0, 3-0, and 4-1 last week over Montreal. In 20 games this season, Colorado has scored in 19 games, including each of their past 15. The over 2.5 has gone 6-1 in recent games and 14-6 on the season. Only 4 teams have seen more over 2.5 bets to the over than Colorado this year. Both teams have scored 38 goals this season and are amongst the highest scorers. There have been 4 straight clean sheets with these teams, though, when they've met up. There's somebody who gets shut out one way or another. There's 3-0, 2-0, 0-0, and 4-0 scores. But in March this season, we did see a shootout with goals coming from both, with Colorado winning 3-2. Certainly, I think both teams to score could be in play here again. LAFC have conceded in 3 straight. They do have clean sheets in six of their last 9. Rapids' Georgi Mihailovic is hot too. He's got 4 goals, 2 assists in his last 2 games. So I do think both teams to score or both teams scoring over 2.5 is an option. Those LAFC clean sheets, though, are a little concerning. So let's just ask there to be 2 goals in this game to improve that other selection, the odds a little bit more here. So let's go LAFC Colorado over 1.5 paired with San Jose LA. Both teams to score and over 2.5 at minus 134 odds for that parlay bet. Those are my 4 different picks in parlay. There's a variety of straight bets and parlays in there. Let me know what you're betting for MLS Matchday 23 down there in the comments, and good luck this weekend.